Enter to win a new Surfskate every month at surfskate.love/giveaway. The Hamboards Pinger is their second longest deck in their lineup, next to the Classic. This Classic is 78 inches long, and you've seen me put together and ride this thing. This is 67 inches long, and it's a much different shape here. It's got pointy ends here, and it's also a lot thinner, which makes it lighter and flexier. So we're gonna put a Waterborne DREAM adapter on this, same thing as we have on the Classic. So let's throw it on and see how she rides. Now typically where I'd start with this build is by replacing the Waterborne surf adapter bushing, and that's a cube-shaped bushing inside of here. And I typically like to replace that because the stock bushing comes in 95A durometer, and that's just a little bit soft for my weight, so I prefer to upgrade that to a Riptide bushing in 97.5A. Makes it a little bit stiffer for me. However, for this one, I'm actually gonna just try the softer one, so I'm not even gonna change that out. We will, however, be changing out all the bushings in the rail adapter and in the RKPs. These bushings on the RKPs and on the rail adapter come in 85A durometer, which is very soft for my weight. So I'm gonna upgrade those to Riptide bushings and go a little bit stiffer with 87.5A. And you'll notice that I have two packages of the exact same thing, and that is because the rail adapter bushings and RKP bushings are the exact same sizes. This is a very typical size for longboard bushings. It's that 0.6 size. And on the RKPs, you have the same as the rail adapter, where you have a barrel bushing on the bottom and a cone bushing on the top. So we will end up replacing all these other bushings, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep that stock one here and see how it rides for me like this. And you'll notice that I have the rail adapter already put together here. It doesn't come like that in your kit. You have to attach the RKP to the base plate there, but I've just saved us a step there. And if I were to replace this surf adapter bushing, then I would have this all torn apart, and the first thing I would do is attach this base plate to the deck. But since we don't have it torn apart, we can just attach this entire thing to the deck. And your Waterborne kit comes with these little pads. They're not really riser pads, but they're just they're really soft and thin. And I like to use them because I think that they just protect your wood and dampen the noise a little bit. And there's our DREAM adapter installed. Now let's replace these RKP bushings. And you want to get your RKP situated right. You'll see that one side has a deeper indentation here. You want this side to be facing out. And that's where your cone bushing will go. And I'd take that to where that nut is just flush on that kingpin. And there is our completed surf adapter. So to install the rail adapter, the easiest way I found is just to take it all apart and just to attach this base plate to the deck first. And make sure you don't lose these little plastic pieces. These prevent metal on metal contact between your base plate and your kingpin, and so that prevents any rattling noise. And we're obviously going to replace these bushings. So let's make sure we get this oriented correctly. So this is already installed on here, where you see how it has these grooves here. This one has those notches there, and those notches need to be opposite each other, which means this needs to go on the rail adapter like so, and our pivot cups need to be facing out or towards the tail, in which case they're going to fit like this. So that rail adapter plate is going to sit on there just like this. And the rail adapters that you buy now are going to come with pre-threaded holes in them, like you just saw me install that surf adapter, but this one doesn't, so we're going to need longer bolts with nuts on the other side. And now we'll replace these rail adapter bushings. And finally, we replace our RKP bushings. All right, and these RKPs have speed rings on them, which I do not need because I'm using built-in bearings, so we can get rid of the speed rings. And there is our completed Hamboards Pinger. So let's get this out and see how she rides. So I said I wasn't going to replace that surf adapter bushing, but after trying this, I realized that I've already done this before. I already know. It's just been a while since I've tried it, so I want to just try again. But I've already learned this. This is way too soft for me, so I'm definitely going to replace this with a stiffer 97.5A bushing. And there's our bushing in there, and we got to just take these washers and bearings out here, and we'll just set those aside. In rare cases, I'm able to pull these out just with channel locks, so let's try that first. And that's definitely too tight, so we're gonna have to hammer this out. So to do that, you take your kingpin nut, screw it back on top, because you don't want to be hammering down on that. That'll ruin your kingpin and you won't be able to get the nut back on. So if you ever do any hammering, make sure you get that nut back on like so, and we're gonna hammer on top of that. And I'm just on the floor of my garage because you just need a hard surface to pound against. That'll come out like that. Then you'll use channel locks to pull that out. And there's the surf adapter bushing replaced. Once I've replaced that bushing, I like to put a little bit of marine grease on it, and that will just prevent any squeaking. So I actually just use a Q-tip to just kind of put it around here. And that's probably a little bit much. I get a little much, but that's okay. There you go. Washers and bearings go back in, followed by our top base plate. And I'm gonna take these out here to make it a little bit easier to deal with. It can be kind of difficult to get back over that surf adapter bushing. You just gotta get it aligned properly and push hard. There we go. Now we put our washers and bearings back in. And we want to make sure that's snug, not being too tight, and that we don't have any play. And I think I've got that pretty perfect right there. Okay, now she's ready to ride.